honored to have distinguished and talented team today for this Q&A. We have writer, director, producer Ashutosh Chaturvedi and Pankaj Mavchi, and a stellar star cast Raj Arjun and Joyshri Arora now. Congratulations to the team for making it to so many film festivals across the globe, and warm welcome. So we
Thank you.
Go ahead. We would actually like to know about the writing process for this short film. So my question is for Ashutosh or Pankaj or both of you. So we know it's like partly based on the true stories, but how did you manage to incorporate a very touching story within a true story? So anyone can go ahead. I'll leave it up to you, Ashutosh or Pankaj.
Okay, I'll take it. Yeah, and Pankaj can join in probably. Yeah, so basically it started with an article, with a series of articles which we came across on 4th July. Which was basically about this issue which this film deals with, the man-animal conflict in that region. And it actually, really shocked us to, we thought, how can it be possible? And then we wanted to deep dive into it, and we went to Pilibhit actually, and we did a couple of trips over there. And when we went there, we realized a lot of other things about Pilibhit apart from this story. I mean, which is the crux, which is the central theme of the story. We realized about the flute making capital, which Pilibhit is. It's been a year-old tradition over there, and there are Muslim artisans who've been their fourth, fifth generation. They've been making flutes, and that also was a very interesting aspect about Pilibhit, which we realized, and that's how the idea came into life. Pankaj, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, and then going forward, actually, from between 2017 to 2019, when we shot the film, between those 2 years, the writing process, even though it was a short film, it took multiple drafts for us because we really wanted to locate the center of the movie. And it took time for us to sort of move away from the sensationalism and the inherent shock to the grounds where we realize why the characters, they behave the way they do. So it was sort of, because it's very easy when you see a dramatic incident to sort of dramatize more around it, but we wanted to change the focus and bring as to why the people are doing so, and that's why it took us time to go through that process.
Lovely. Did you really spend time while you were writing the story? You spent the time in Pilibhit, or you were just going back and forth and then completing your writing process in your own towns, like in Bombay?
No, actually, so the trips to Pilibhit were to sort of get an element of authenticity. So one thing that me and Ashutosh and thankfully the entire cast and crew came and fully supported on board was the authenticity of it, to maintain the authenticity of it. So Pilibhit trips were all because of research, and because it's a small independent film, we couldn't afford to sort of sit on location and do it. So we were based out of Bombay back then. So we would do all our trips, budgeted trips, come back, have all the ingredients to it, and then keep mulling it over and over and over and over again. And that's how we did the process.
We were very sure that we wanted to shoot it as real as possible, and that was the idea. So, and like how Pankaj is saying, very meticulous planning was required, because we could not afford to go for many days and shoot at leisure, and those were the restrictions. So it has to be a very and all the locations, since if you go to real locations, they are very far away from one place to another, and in remote area the roads are not there. So we would move physically with all the equipment and cast and crew and everyone. So it required that kind of planning. Otherwise, like how Pankaj is saying, the essence was very critical for us. And since it being a short film, there is a major shift in Siraj's character which we wanted to show in this film. That was very difficult to make it happen in 20 minutes. That was the biggest challenge for us, and hence this research and the real understanding of the region and real understanding of the issue was very, very important for us to get it right, to, and not get into the, like how Pankaj was saying, the sensation part of it. It is shocking, yes. Like how I also began, your first reaction to that news is shocking. But if you go beyond shock, there is a very, very tragic tale. There is a very, very tragic situation people are dealing with. And that is where our story was, to go beyond that shock and not, harp on that.
Got it. Okay. So I want to go back a little bit. When was the time when you both realized that you want to quit working for what you were working, and then you want to come up with your own stories and you want to jump into the direction and want to make films? What was that moment like? When did you decide?
I think I'll take that very quickly. We both used to work together, and that's where we bonded at work. We were both doing our jobs, and we had this shared passion for storytelling. Ashu's been dabbling in acting and doing a lot of stuff himself. So he's an artist primarily, and I wanted to get into the other side of things, and that's where we had shared, bonding experiences. And one fine day, the whole drive made us quit our jobs. I quit my job, and we followed about a year later. And yeah, here we are today. It's been about, I think, over 10 years now. So yeah.
Wow, amazing journey. Nice. So, Joyshri ma'am, it was such a delight to see you after such a long time. You've been associated with television even till very recently. You're a veteran actress. How did you end up getting this role? And tell us about your experience working with these directors. Let me. Joyshri ma'am, I think you have to unmute yourself. Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
One fine evening, I get a call from Ashutosh, and he narrated, he said, we would like to talk to you. Where are you? I said, I'm in Noida. I said, I go to Mumbai, I do my work, and even if, I'm free for 3 days, I rush back to Delhi. So they said, okay, you tell me a good time when we can talk. And he spoke about Pankaj as well. So both of us, nice story and all. It's a short film and good story. So I said, okay, fine. So next day, around 11:30, both of them, with a video call, and they narrated the story. I was absolutely dumbfounded, Pallavi, Okay, fine. Okay. And then when ultimately, now that you have watched the film and all, and this is such a loving son, how, is it possible? Then I asked them, you sure it's a true story? Does this happen? They said, yes, it does. I was so, taken aback, I would say. And, I'm a very hungry artist, a very, very hungry artist. And so that's why you'll see I've done work, but, not, anything and everything comes my way. No. So I said, yeah. I said, yes, I'd love to. I said, I am on. Okay. I would love to do this. And then I was thinking in my mind, I come from Bengal. I'm a Bengali. Okay. In the eastern side of India. So there is a beautiful saying. I said, such a good son, how could you do it? He was pressurized by his friend or whatever it is. There's a beautiful saying, as they say, proverb, abhave shabhav nashto. When you are, paucity of money, when things are not doing well, even a fantastic human being, at the spur of the moment, he gets entangled in this kind of a thing. I think that doesn't mean that the son did not love the mother. He was pushed against a wall. Otherwise, a good human being, it was not fathomable. I couldn't take it as a normal human being, but it was just beautiful. Then Pankaj and Ashutosh will tell you, they had some doubts about whether I will, ultimately I'll work or not or something. And then they spoke about Raj Arjun. And I had seen one of the movies, I think, Secret Superstar or something like that. I had seen that movie. So after that, well, everything was decided. And I am one actor, I would say, I don't take too many projects at one go. I mean, since I also teach, I said you should never carry your baggage, character, for the baggage of that particular character you're portraying to the next set. So I prefer doing one project at a time. You get involved. I mean, I started thinking about this woman, and they said she's lean, she's famished, she's emaciated. And I said, okay, fine, I'm thin, all right, but I don't look emaciated. From no angle I look that as well. That is your makeup person, makeup artist will do that. And they did a super job. And then we traveled from Noida to Pilibhit, and experience was super, let me tell you. I mean, such a serious film, I mean, it just wrenches your heart when you see the movie. And I mean, you just cannot say. Many a time when there's a lump in your throat, a lot of people will cry. But a person like me, at least for half an hour, 45 minutes, I will not be able to say anything, speak, because of that, that too much of emotion. There's a lump. And I mean, I'm not very comfortable in that situation. So we completed, and believe me, oh my God, we would get up. I mean, there was no time. Till 10 o'clock we were shooting. Again, next morning we'll get up and do it. And it was all fun, mind you. We were in the sets, and before the camera rolled, all of us, we were talking, and maximum, the bulk of the role was with Raj Arjun. He was sitting with his bansuri and things like that. And such lovely scene between the mother, and especially the last scene. Since you're asking experience, he's sitting there, that thought going in his mind. What is he going to do? What is he going to do? What is he going to do? And the mother has done her job. She has given the money there, but she doesn't want to tell him that don't worry, all your worries will be over. And his son is sitting alone, Shiraz is sitting alone, the mother comes, tries to talk to him. Maybe she is withholding the news that don't worry, I have given the money, child will be all right, and don't have to worry about the hospital expenses. And she tries to, but then she controls. She goes back, she looks at him. Both were in that totally different thought process. She happy that the little grandson will come home, and the son is thinking that, what do? I have to sacrifice my mother. I'm in between the son and the mother. One fading light, the other one, the sunrise. I mean, I think the most difficult part, the emotions a human being goes through was Shiraz at that time. And it was so beautiful. So nice. And yes, we sort of completed the shoot, and by doing it, and then going, the jungle path and started doing it, and then they did 2-3 retakes. I fall. There was something wrong. I either, that mark where I was supposed to fall, when she faints, the mother faints, 3, 4, 5 retakes were there, but I am one person who 50 retakes, I think I'll be better than the previous one. So we completed and Thalaivii, there was an emptiness when we were coming back. It was so intense that, and I had done, I think, over 200 projects, 5 or 6 projects before I did Pilibhit. I mean, for the sets when the camera was not on, we were different people. That is that. So that preparation. We all needed just 3 to 4 minutes because Pankaj and Ashutosh, they were busy, and the two was very, very. We were the ones. We were getting little respite in between the scenes. They were busy, but it was lovely story, good co-actors. I literally, believe me, enjoyed myself doing
That is true. I think each scene was unique in its own sense, from the beginning till the end. It was just amazing, mind blowing. But Raj sir, you are a very versatile actor. You've acted in Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam films, TV series. Was this your first short film? Have you already? Okay, yeah.
No, this is not my first short film. I have done before as well, because I was always fascinated by this thought that someone who wants to make short films, there should be some seasoned and senior actors always to come forward and support them. So I decided, when I make my name, or if I'm able to make something, I will keep doing short films. And I'm telling it to each and everyone that if you have some good subject, you can directly connect to me or my team. And if you even don't have money, I am willing to do it, because I know where does these short films goes. Because I know these short films have a strong content, strong story, but it has no source of earning, as I feel. Like, it goes to festival. So whoever is making a short film, this is for sure that it is out of passion he is making, and he wants to make his profile, and he wants to spread his story and his content to the world cinema and all. So if I can become tiniest part of that film, I feel happy enough, and I feel that I've done something worthwhile to cinema. So that's why I keep doing short films. I've done a lot of short films recently. So this Pilibhit, I've done a film called The Perfect Girl. Then I've done some couple of more, and then this Pilibhit happened.
Of course, the script was super strong. You can't say no to Pilibhit's script, right?
I have to add something over here.
I have an interesting story. Let Pankaj say that, but I will
adding on to what Raj has said, that we literally, I mean, it's not because we are here and speaking about it, but we literally couldn't have been here had it not been the support of our producer Navjot and artists like Raj and Joshri ma'am. For us who are absolutely unknown, from the very first meeting, it's not just about their professionalism. It's about, they are all professionals, but the big heart that they come with and the way they went all out to support us. I mean, nothing, it was such a difficult shoot, but you really don't see them, कुछ नहीं, अरे करते ना ये करते ना, and फट the जैसे takes इतना complex characters, no, not just on the set but off set also, the big hearted people that they are, and because of us we are having this interaction. So yeah, big tip to that. Thanks.
I'll also quickly add a word here that, because like how Pankaj is saying, there is of course, like how Raj very nicely put that, you need to support short films. It's like, because short film is, I mean, primarily most of them are driven out of passion, and there is no monetary involved, benefit there. So in with regards to Pilibhit, there was a very tedious travel involved. Then you had to go to a very remote place which was not connected, very, the roads, and there was a long journey and all of that. The stay and all of that, and even the locations were not very comfortable, so to say. So I mean, the least thing, mostly what happens in short films, that you are in the comfort of shooting in your own city, you give a day or two, whatever. But in this case, there was a travel involved, so there were more days involved. There was and everything was not very comfortable, like how ma'am was telling a while back. I still remember that, every time we were also thinking, oh shit, this shot should happen nicely, because we had to make her fall, and it was like in the middle of jungle. There was like concrete, there were like trees, twigs, thorns, everything. So every time we were looking at the monitor and we were like, oh god, this should happen nicely. So similarly, how Raj is sharing, and like how Pankaj was also saying, from the word go, it was never a director-actor relationship. We had it has been until now, when we become, it has been very, very friendly and very, very, great experience to work together.
I want to share one very interesting story. I will start from the beginning, and why I want to share, because you will definitely enjoy. So I didn't know that. I didn't know then that they exist over here, and all of a sudden I got a call, and they said that the casting director said that there are two guys, Pankaj and Ashu. They want to meet you. They want to narrate you a story. So I said okay. So I went to hear this story, and the moment they started narrating, they take over the responsibility. Thoda point, they will Ashu will narrate, then suddenly Pankaj will come up on the board and he will start narrating. They get so involved in that thing that they don't know कि अभी ये बोल रहा है तो मैं भी बोलूँ है ना. They keep going on. So I was just hearing them, and the moment they started that there is a place called Pilibhit, and I was not aware about this thing, that this really happens, or it really exists somewhere, and then Pilibhit is a gaon where they still live. So the moment they narrated me the whole story, I was just zapped, and I felt that I am going to be a part of this film. And then I said, who will make the film? Who will produce the film? They said, we will produce the film. I said, from where did you got the money? They said, we have earned something. We were doing job in a big OTT platform and all, big channel and all, and we have left the job. And now we have some money and we'll make the film. And these things just touch me so much. And when I see this passion, this enthusiasm, this zeal, I get connected. So I said, okay, I also want to do it. Now, what money do you have to offer me? They said, sir, this is the amount which we can offer you. I said, put this in the film, but make a good film. So now we were almost on the board. And I thought they are offering me Shiraz, the main guy. And they said, we are not offering you Shiraz. We are offering you another role. I said, hello, what? So they said, yes, we don't see you as Shiraz. We see you as some another character. And I was quiet for a few minutes. And I said, what a fantastic film. What a story. And I will just lose now because I will do Shiraz only. I will not do anything else. And how to let this masterpiece just go? I thought, but I'm very straightforward. I've learned a lesson that whatever is in your heart, just say it and just leave it. So I said, boss, I will do Shiraz. Otherwise, I will not do it. They said, no, we don't see you as Shiraz. Why? Because Secret Superstar was just released. So they said, we see, sir, you have played villain and that Shiraz is a vulnerable guy. And we are not able to see you like that. So I said, but I am able to see myself as Shiraz, nobody else. So I will not do it. So they were upset. I was upset for a moment and we just went. We said bye. And then life just moves on. I thought about this film because this film was just haunting me like anything. Because this mother, leaving mother at this jungle was just haunting me each and every day. I said, how can somebody thinks like that, and how can somebody make or willing to write the story? So I desperately wanted to be a part, but as Shiraz. And I don't know what happened. Then one day Ashu and Pankaj again got back to me, and they said, sir, we are convinced we want you to play Shiraz. And I said, yes.
Okay, I'll add one thing here in between. First of all, for us, for us, the thing was that we definitely wanted to work with Raj because we have seen his work and we were very keen to work with him. And for us, Bilal was also equally challenging character. So it was not that we were thinking like that, and we were very sure that you will play a terrific Bilal. And you know what happens, that once you think of something now, and in your mind you are very convinced, and you go and we narrated it like that to Raj also, and we were very convinced. And when he said, so in that moment, like how he's saying, when he felt bad, yeah, they're considering me for that role because probably in his mind he was very sure of Siraj. And we had a preconceived vision of Bilal for Raj. And so in that moment, we also thought, yeah, what happened? And then, like he said, after that meeting, there was an awkward silence. He went away and we also went back. And we were also thinking, yeah, we want to work with Raj, but will he be Siraj? And it took us also some time. So like how he was desperate to work on the project, we also wanted to work with him. But to see him as Siraj, took us also some time, and thank God that we could see that actually.
So first of all, I'm very glad that Raj sir could actually, he was able to, convince you guys to make him Siraj. But how did you find your Bilal then? Like, what about Vicky Ahuja? He played such an intense role. Few scenes were really very powerful when he was trying to describe how he kind of, pushed his dad to death, basically. So how did you find him, since we are talking about casting?
Actually, the thing was that when we wanted to cast this thing, we really wanted to sort of spread out. And we really, and that's how we actually found our cast, including Joyshri ma'am, because they are all like very senior actors doing great commercial work and all of that. But what we realized that since the beginning of their careers, they have been actively pursuing and supporting independent cinema. And there is a great line, like me and Ashu keep discussing this line, this character called Antony, who from the film Ratatouille. He says the new needs friends when he discovers that the rat is the mouse. So these were our new friends, and because we were new, they actually became, they had no reason, but their sheer passion for cinema. That's why they support us. And in that regard, we were actually going around and looking around con actors and all of that. So there was this film of Nandita Das called Firak. And there we saw Vicky Ahuja's part. And Vicky Ahuja is mostly busy doing theater and stuff. And he had also, because since we worked in television, we had seen a part of his on a television role also, and which we really liked. And it's like, oh my God, there is this actor who's done great body of work. Let's figure him out. And then Ashu reached out, and that's how we got.
Great. You guys picked your team very wisely. Everybody in your team, the team Pilibhit, is par excel. Like, you look at the producers, they have amazing body of work. You look at the actors, they have amazing experience. They bring so much to the table. So great. Perfect. I want to go back to Raj sir. Just wanted to ask you, how did you prepare for this character? What was your, since this film, for your character, it didn't have many dialogues, kind of less, but so much emotions. So how did you prepare, and how was your experience overall working in an independent film like this?
What I personally feel that language is an expression, and but to express our emotions, we don't need a lot of support from language. And there are lots of things for which language is not an advantage sometimes. So I personally feel that even if there are less dialogues, and if you're working too much on your character and all, your silences, your pauses, your body language, everything speaks a lot. And of course, there was a support from Ashu and Pankaj a lot. They started briefing me about Pilibhit, about the people who live there, and about the survival. They survive on $100 for a day for the whole family, which was shocking for me, because what is $100 or $200 for a day today? So this thought only, you just leave and think that a family has to survive on $200 in a day. It just creates goosebumps, and it says, how is this possible? And that gives you trauma, that gives you baggage, that gives you a responsibility to portray and to justify that plead, that just urge to convey. So there was a big support from Ashu and Pankaj, and as well as from each and every actor from the team, because they did a commendable job. They got Vicky, they got Jayashree ma'am, they got kids. They were just looking like villagers. There is what happens usually. Director sometimes go for glamour also in short films or in films and all. So they forget that we are serving the content. We don't have to look good. We have to justify the character and we have to be honest to the content and all. So I give credit to Ashu, Pankaj, Joyshi ma'am, and each and every kid over there and all the co-actors and all. And when you see honesty on floor before we are going to the floor and all, you get zeal and you get enthusiasm on a stronger level that you have to work more harder to that. You have to serve their purpose. They are making a short film that it should reach to some level and it should get noticed. And since you are a part of that, you put your 1000% in that part. So that's what I do. And regarding the preparation on my own, because I come from a theater background, so I have been taught that you have to search out the soul of each and every character initially. Out we have been taught that we should not look for the body language or gestures or the postures in the beginning itself. That is a byproduct of your psychological thinking and all, and it will keep hinting you, it will keep giving you a guidance that what should he wear, how should he talk, how should he sit and all. But that comes later once you start living like a character. So as I do with each and every character of mine, I did with Shiraz as well, that I started thinking and living like him, and gradually it helped me a lot. And to my all my team of people also supported me a lot. That's what it went on.
One thing, sorry, before you move, I want to add over here in the casting part is that that authenticity was very important. So we actually went to Delhi and Lucknow, two street theaters, and that's where we found Mahesh Chandra Deva and his Chabutra theater, and who are like, from people who are from from the marginalized places, and they are practicing theater, and that's where we got the kids. But now you have to understand that in a 2-day shoot, how subtly these great actors like Raj Arjun and Joyshri ma'am, they help us, because these guys, they are professionally trained, and when these kids come, they are following their passion for acting, but there is technicality to the process. Kaha khade hona hai, what's the blocking, how's the camera moving, and all of that. So and there is very little time, so you understand that within the performance how they're taking the kids along with them, how they're making sure that not just they are doing their own part, but actually taking the ensemble together, because they know that we are running out of time. There is not much to do. You can't be fumbling. The look has to be right. The kids have to be all right. So the entire baki jitna bhi cast, whatever is there, they are managing that also. And that's the beauty of it, that you don't even know that they're doing that job also, So that's the brilliance of them. And we were just like sheer in awe, don't worry, I'm going to do that. So that little hand gesture, everything, there is so much at play. It's not just the performance, but you can't see how good they are because the performance is on the top of it. So yeah.
And adding to that, as in few things about the film, huge thanks to Navjot, because he got us a lot of technical crew. He introduced us to a lot of people who we wanted to work with, and getting the right people. So like our DOP Nusrat, she comes from Lucknow, and she is so immensely talented, and she's so good with her work. So, and in that less time, because unfortunately there was no time, and it is the most pressure is on the cameraman only, because we say, okay, now we have to move to another shot, this is what we want. So in that less time to give us those kind of shots and constantly churning out and understanding, of course that helped. It helped because we before going to the place, because we knew that we had very less time, so there was a lot of preparation we did beforehand in terms of what kind of shots, and we've been to locations. So she already went to Pilibhit for a tech rec, so she was little aware of the location, but still, great job done by her. And then, again, like how Raj was saying and Joyshri ma'am was saying, that you need people to support short films. So similarly, Navjot asked us that who do you want to edit your film? We said we want Nitin Bhatt, and he was busy with 83 and a lot of other commitments at that point in time. We like, okay, fine, I'll get him. And then we went and we met him, and he also immediately agreed. He helped us in editing, and he got us Shruti, his associate, to edit the film. And Shruti was so good that she also, all this happened during pandemic, because we shot in December, And by the time we could figure that with whom we can finish our film, and we were deep in the pandemic. So managing things like that, and in terms of music, we got Advait, and in that time, studios were shut. He allowed us to come and visit his studio, because though we wanted to keep music very subtle, very little, but very impactful also. And there is a huge reference of flute and music in the film. Music is an essential part in Siraj's life. So we wanted to get the actual flute recorded, and to get an artist to record it during that time was very difficult. Advait made it happen. So, that way, in terms of costume, Pankaj, do you want to take through the kind of theme which we planned and which with Ria, what we did?
I have an incident. So because we reached Delhi, and from there the next day we were supposed to travel by car. And Ria actually got because for the costumes we were like hell bent, we want authentic costumes. Nothing is to be made. So she went and she got the Mazdoors ka costumes from Delhi, and she exchanged it with the proper clothes, and it was a tuta chappal, patawa, this thing and all of that. And so we washed them all. All night they were washed to make them clean and hygienic and everything. And the next day, and they were altered and everything that was happening once we reached Pilibhit. And the next day they were supposed to wear. It was almost below 10 degrees. There was fog. It was extremely cold, and the clothes had not completely dried out. And mind you, all our actors were wearing semi-wet clothes in that cold, and they did not say a thing. Chalo, let's do it. Karke. So that is the kind of support we got. So that was there. They didn't once say what are these clothes or what, nothing. Oh, this, in fact, they were making improvements. Let it be like that. Oh, this is very nice. Let's go. So they were so enthusiastic about it, forgetting that they were semi-wet clothes, and they were just going on with their performance. So yeah, that's what Ria did, going out on streets in Delhi at night and getting all these clothes. So people really, with their passion, they just didn't walk an extra mile. I think they walked several extra miles for the film. So yeah.
So sweet.
I remember. Sorry, Pallavi.
No worries. Please.
I want to add. I want to appreciate Ashu and Pankaj, because somehow if somebody will see this interview, they will notice that young filmmakers come without ego and all, working on a project on the same pitch, because they are both on the same age and all. But I didn't see any ego to them. They were hassle free. They were just complementing each other and working smoothly. And I remember, because when I get involved in something in the script and all, I feel it is my product too. It is my bacha too. So I start giving the suggestions. So I suggested them one or two scenes were not going well with and all. And then I really respect them. They thought about it. They rethought about it. And they said that, sir, you are right. We will change this scene. I'm talking about that hospital scene, Pankaj and Ashu. So there was something which was just keeping a hindrance for a second in my character. And that particular hinge was continuously torturing me. So I shared with them and I said that this scene should be like this. And let's just see, or let's just conceive like this. They thought, and then they came up with the new vision, and they said, sir, we have added this scene as you said, and we are fine with this. So I really, these kind of makers and these kind of directors earn more respect. When I'm working with Imtiaz right now, Imtiaz Ali, he also is like that. The moment you suggest them, and if you feel it is right, they are most welcoming. And because they know that you are serving the content. So we are here to serve the subject. We are here to serve the content of the story. We are not here to show how much talented we are. So I really appreciate this gesture and all. So I just wanted to break this in the this discussion.
No, you said it before also, Raj. You said something very, very important, that this is something which even Pankaj keeps saying. It is, we are serving the content. So that is what we also believe. And Chota Mo Badi Baat, I read Steven Spielberg's interview. In his interview, he said that a director's job is to listen to everyone, to create an environment where even a spot boy can give a suggestion, And then, of course, you use your judgment and you know the project and you pick and choose or whatever. But the thing is, any suggestion and anybody who's thinking, that person is not thinking for his personal gain. The person is thinking for project's benefit. So you need to be, I think it's not about ego. I think you need to be wise enough to understand that everybody is coming together, or, it's, in fact, it's good that when actors are on their own coming up with suggestions. It's that they're like how you would want people to own up your project. You would want everyone to feel that it's their project. And if you can manage that, I think that is the success of anybody who's making anything. I think you serving the content is the key word, which Pankaj also keeps saying. It's the correct thing, Raj. It's the most important thing. Very true.
So the director of the photography, cinematography was amazing. You were talking about the appearances and how you got the dirty clothes, and to me, few scenes really stuck in my mind. Like, for example, the dirty nails of the protagonist when he was playing flute, or when he was walking in the jungle, the chappal, the dirty, pants and pajamas. Those are incredible scenes, according to me. And you guys have absolutely gotten this amazing cinematography. If you have anything to add to the director of photography, or how you feel free to add it.
Yeah, actually, Nusrat also comes from a background of great artistic and independent cinema, and she's herself a very, very artistic person. And so the look of the film was pre-decided. We actually sat with her and we had references, and we said that this is how we are going to look like. Because there were a lot of time we were being suggested that why don't you shoot it in Bombay itself, film city. But the light and the entire milieu of Pilibhit is not what you get in film city. So we were very adamant. And the light over there is going to be very, very different. Then we had a color palette that was absolutely decided before in hand. That's why all the characters were given their colors. Like Joshri ma'am's color was yellow to represent wisdom. Raj's color was that dark color which slowly fades away into white, and Bilal's color was red. So we knew that we are going to operate in these colors. So then she had to make sure that none of the other props are matching, because that would affect in the DI process. So the last visual frame was locked and we were all working towards it. So Nusrat really, really managed that whole technicality of it and bringing her own aesthetic, to that the whole film. In fact, I remember she was having really, really long, strenuous sessions with our DI people, and making sure that each and every, like one frame, maybe thoda sa color is off or anything is off. She's like, no, we have to get this right. Otherwise we are not going ahead. So that is, again, she's a very, very meticulous artist. Yeah.
Because not only the color palette, from the beginning we knew how the film is going to look. Also in terms of the DI, also we were very sure the grading should be of a certain this kind of because there are distinct looks in the film. Some night scenes are there, some early morning scenes are there, some bright daylight scenes are there, and in terms of mood also there is a certain mood to a scene. So we had a lot of referencing done beforehand with Nusrat. So that exercise really helped us. And I'm sure, with her artistry, it really did good to the film. The only thing where we had to compromise was that we wanted to shoot, I'm talking a little technical, that we wanted to shoot on anamorphic lenses. And they were a little expensive to get and a little tedious to manage in 2-day shoot. So that is the only thing. Like, the suggestion started with, shoot on Sony F5 and shoot in Bombay. From there to shoot in Pilibhit with the kind of lenses we wanted, all that we managed. But anamorphic is something which Nusrat was also very excited when first we discussed. But that is the only thing we had to kind of let go of. But otherwise, yes, in those 2 days, I'll just add one more thing, that after first day shoot, because there was so much to cover and winter, the sunlight was limited. So after first day shoot, and it takes a while for everyone to get used to the character and the unit and the crew, and since the location was also quite crazy that in that sense. So first day was little not up to the mark in terms of the amount of work which we wanted to cover and how we wanted to shoot. So first day when we returned to our respective places, and we were quite dejected. We thought, God knows, I don't know what is going to happen, because we definitely are not getting third day. We don't have money for that. So I don't know, but it's a short film. Maybe it's a waste of money and everybody's energy. So fine, let's see what will happen next day. But again, everyone was so good and so involved and so supportive that there was an evening scene which we shifted to early morning. So we early morning in the sense 4:30, and we asked Joyshri ma'am that you're shooting till 10:30, 11. Will you be able to come? She's like, yeah, I'll do it. And even for that matter, Raj also, that this place also we have to go, then hospital to this location, to that location. So, but the thing is that we were down, but everybody was so supportive. Then next day we also like, okay, let's try. We are sure we'll get it. And we managed to shoot everything.
In fact, the next day, we were shooting at the hospital. Everyone was there. The hospital was yet to open. The hospital with Tala was there, and we started rolling. And the way these actors were taking out scenes like cut, all like what is happening, and they're like, so we are getting the takes, but they're like, no, we'll do even better. So Josh says, let me do this. Raj says, no, let me do this. Let me turn around. And they just started enjoying so much, and we were just like, okay, fine, this is gonna go so well. So they just gave so many perfect takes.
And other thing what we take for granted, like how Pankaj is just now saying, I remember that we never had time for many takes. But these guys were so good that we never had to worry about that. So the thing is that, yes, there was a lot which we covered in 2 days in different locations, and all those locations which you see, Pallavi, in the film, they all are real locations. So because you want to go to real location, they are not like next to each other, like kilometers away, and the roads were not good. So it would take 1 hour, 2 hour travel time to shift from one to another location. So actually there was no time for any retakes or whatever, but full marks to these guys. And we never bothered. We were never counting that they will take more takes, because we were also at one point in time, you take them for granted, they will do it in 1 take or 2 take or whatever. Yeah, Pankaj.
Actually, I have a question both for Joyshri.
I want to butt in. I want to say something here. I wonder, I'm sure both of you, Pankaj and Ashutosh, will remember, while shooting Pallavi, suppose say my scene was not there, I was watching, I said, oh my God, so much of bead. Do you remember one guy was trying to record what we were doing when we were performing? Ashutosh, I did tell somebody, I said, देखो वो shoot कर रहा है, देखो वो record कर रहा है भाई अपने. So we were also actors, we were also watchmen, whether it was being recorded by some. Do you remember?
Yeah. But I was so uncanny because my question was next to that. Sorry for taking for Pallavi. My question was for Joyshri ma'am and Raj only. The thing was that we have to like really hats off to the entire crowd and people of Pilibhit, because once they got to, we were in such a remote location. Once they got, and nobody had ever shot. This is the first subject where the cameras have ruled in Pilibhit. That's what we were told. And once the people got to know, people came from so far off and all of that, and itna bheed ho gaya tha us chota sa gaon and jungle mein. And so I was like, oh my God, there are so many people and all of that, but they were so well behaved, they were so supportive, they were like, okay, and whatever instructions they would very, very nicely follow. They were actually very nice. Actually, I just was wondering that, we get this thing, but how do actors even perform? How do they stay in character with so many distractions and people wanting to coming and talk and this and that? But it's just like how Rajan, itna bheed mein because we are behind camera, we are just looking at things, but they have to be psychologically in that zone. And how do they do it?
Like how Joyshri ma'am said, not only managing crowd, like something which Pankaj said a little while ago, that we wanted to keep it very real. So we got Chabutra Theatre and people, the most of the secondary cast, actually all of them were from Lucknow and in and around area. The younger, Siraj's younger mother's role was played by a girl from Bareilly only, from Pilibhit in fact. So, but the thing is, yes, the excitement is there to get all these raw talent, but you need time with them, to kind of make them understand the dynamics of the set. And we didn't have that time. So there, these guys, they came in very handy, because within the scene, they will pull them to the right place, or, if they are forgetting something, they will cover up. And those are the things which you and me, we cannot make out, but while shooting, we realize, okay, now they're managing it like that. So that part also, as a director, it gets very easy for you to operate when you have such seasoned actors. And one more thing before I forget, you had mentioned earlier that, what you liked about the dirty nails of Raj. So the dirty nails, we used to spend 15 minutes to make them dirty, because Raj otherwise they're quite clean guy. So he would come with his nails, they're looking dirty. I said, no, they're not still dirty. Then Yogita, makeup girl, she would come with more dirt. She'll put, now they're dirty, then he'll put them in the soil and all of that. So that would take, I think most of the time, dirtying the nails took rather than, Raj delivering his shots. It was the dirtying the nail part which happened there.
Oh God, that's funny. That's funny. So realistic, by the way.
They came with a good costume one day before. She washed it. And I said, why did you wash it? Who asked you to wash it? You should have got it same as it is. So they were surprised, what am I talking to?
Well, so Ashutosh, Pankaj, we can't wait for your next feature film or like a Netflix series. I know you guys are writing. You have done writing a feature film, I think. Would you like to share a little bit about your upcoming projects?
Pankaj, why don't you go for that?
Yeah, actually, we've written the feature film. We're in the process of writing another also, because these things take time. It's a very, very long and arduous journey, and we are not yet the kind of support that we had with our short film. It's sort of difficult to gather that in feature film, but yet we are going to persist, and hopefully we'll reach there. So the script and all, everything is locked, and now we are writing on the other things. So we don't know which one will happen. But our job is to write and just to keep pushing forward, and hopefully we meet again with the feature film.
Yeah. And I want to clarify one thing what Raj was saying, that Pankaj and Ashu, they narrated. So it's not Pankaj and Ashu narrated, it's always Pankaj narrates. And when Pankaj narrates, nobody is about to speak. So I just put in afterwards, just to clarify some points. Or if
please don't give out our professional secrets. Do not give out our professional secrets.
I don't get to speak much.
Like this.
Right now we are getting equal proportion to speak, but I want to clarify. Otherwise, generally I don't get to speak much. Yeah, just wanted to clarify.
His pain has come out.
I know.
बोलने दिया करो पंकज उसको थोड़ा.
नहीं सर ऐसे नहीं चलेगा.
So, Jayashri ma'am, we would love to see you, more in such roles. We definitely loved your performance. In fact, everybody's performance was mind-blowing. Vicky Ahuja was superb. Every young artist, they were great in their roles. And so as, of course, Raj sir, kudos to, the filmmakers and the entire team for creating such a thought-provoking film, which has elements like, reality versus virtues, and artisans versus commercialization. So, any one of you like to say anything in addition to what we have? It was more like a very nice, free-flowing conversation between us. It didn't look like interview at all. But anything you want to add to it before we come to the end of this?
As all of us who have been talking, Pallavi, script is the hero actually. When you have that kind of script and good co-actors and the good crew, the people who are in front of the camera and behind the camera, the project has to be good. When there is passion, when there is total commitment, and as Raj very rightly said, whenever I also do a project, there are many questions I have before I sign on the dotted line or before I say, yes, I will be doing it. Because after that, it is my project. I have to be honest to my work. As long as artists, the people in front of the camera and behind the camera, hand in gloves, that kind of a thing is there. I'm sure with Pilibhit kind of a script, we will be able to make very good, meaningful, thought-provoking films. I'm sure about it. Let's not look into the commercial aspect of it. No. Let's see the emotion, the navras, to see the human nature, the human emotions, when you get a good script. And as Raj said, exactly the same, when I get a script, this is my character, I start thinking about that character. That is why I cannot do two projects at one time, because you're thinking about a character which you are going to portray. You cannot jeopardize that character thinking about something else. So as long as honesty, sincerity is there, good script and everything, I'm sure we'll be able to make good films, whether short film or 1 hour film or full-fledged feature film. I'm sure.
Raj sir,
Yeah,
any-
and a huge shout out to Pallavi, you, and there are like people like you who work for independent cinema, and for championing these films, because like Raj said, that when you set out doing this, you purely do it for passion, and there is no commercial sort of earning back to say. So people are genuinely going out of their way, dedicating their man hours. I mean, you're literally sitting in burning midnight oil talking to us with such fervor. It's really thanks to you and like the organizations like Tasveer who support independent cinema, genuinely support independent cinema. So yeah, really big thanks to you.
Thank you so much. My pleasure, Pankaj. And Tasveer also provide funds if you, I don't know if you know about it, but if you would like to apply for it. So that's how we support artists, from South Asian countries. I just wanted to ask Raj sir, last question. Any upcoming project you're excited about? Any independent film you want to briefly touch upon before we go?
Yes, Pallavi, there are, touchwood, by the grace of God, there is a lot of good work right now. And why I'm saying good work, because all this time I was not able to get what I wanted to do, but now this is the time where I am choosing my subject, and I'm choosing those who touch my heart, those who are close to my thinking level and all. So there is a film called The Miniaturist of Junagadh. It is again a short film which is doing a round of the world in festivals and all. I've recently got a Best Actor award in that film, which is with Nasiruddin Shah Saab. Then there is another brilliant film called Love Hostel, which is made by Drishyam Films. It is they also make award-winning films, so which is directed by Shankar Raman. You will see me in another very different role. Then there is a film called Yudra. Yudra is produced by Farhan Akhtar and Farhan Akhtar's company. So that is there in the pipeline. It will release in 2022. Then there is a Telugu web series called Jhansi. Then there is a Hindi web series with Imtiaz Ali. So there is work. And
is there any actor getting work nowadays in Bombay?
I really don't know.
Half of the time interviewed and half of the time is like what all Raj Arjun is now currently doing.
I live in my own zone and in my own world, so I really don't know what is happening in the another world.
But we are very happy, Raj, that
we are very happy.
Like how we began the interview in the beginning, I think Pallavi was also mentioning we would like to see more of you and more of Joyshri, ma'am. It is really very good.
Thank you.
We would love to see all your projects on screen in theaters very soon. So I wish you good luck, all the best, and thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Pleasure is all mine. So
Thank you so much.
Really, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.